The Paranormal Ecto News Flash with Cody from the Southwest Ghost Hunters Association. Now.
I'm Cody Polston, and this is your Paranormal Ecto News Flash. Today I'm talking with renowned parapsychologist Loyd Auerbach, and we're talking about ghost hunting. Is it just a hobby?
Well, I think it's just become a hobby. I mean, TV shows came along, and then we just had this huge influx of people, for one reason or another, whether they want their own TV show or thought that was cool, and they got into it, and it's just become a hobby.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that if people were honest about this being a hobby or being something interesting to them, rather than so many groups, as you know, Cody, who are saying we're professionals and we're being scientific, and they're full of it.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
if people call themselves explorers or hobbyists or whatever else they wanted to, that'd be great. There's been also this really bizarre reaction to the word amateur. And I'd have to say that most of the people out there are not even of amateur status, if we want to use the word amateur the way we do in the way one does in astronomy, or geology for that matter, because amateurs actually know something about the field.
Right. And that's at absolute best, It's kind of like we were talking, I've said it before on this show. There's not a ghost hunting group out there that is going to prove any of this, and I think that's kind of a reality that needs to be, emphasized.
But if they know what they're doing, they can contribute or at least come up with some more. And some of yes, it is anecdotal evidence, but you find patterns for the anecdotal evidence that you can bring into the laboratory. A lot of the mediumship research is based on the anecdotal evidence and the way that things occur in real life, and so is a lot of ESP experience and experiments. You take the life experience and you bring it into the lab to try to figure out what's going on. The ultimate question of proving the existence of ghosts really boils down to another question, a bigger question, and that is, what is consciousness? And this is a question that is subsuming a lot of scientists on the materialistic side and the dualistic side, who basically are not in agreement about what consciousness is. Quantum physicists think that consciousness is everywhere, many of them, that it affects our material world, and then there are the true materialists who think that consciousness is a trick of the brain. It's just a lie.
Oh, yeah, and then there's that whole semi-field theory that John Joe McFadden started, and then that's branched off and made many more theories,
Yeah.
It gets confusing.
So until science actually is at a point where they can say this is what consciousness is, we can't say that consciousness necessarily, we can't prove that it survives death. Although one physicist actually kiddingly said to me, if you can get a bunch of ghosts to come into our laboratory, we'd have a better shot of figuring out what it is.
Whether you believe it's just a hobby or a serious endeavor, you can learn more about ghost hunting by checking out my site, ghosthuntingbadass.com.
You will believe that we're not alone.